So we are now at 199 videos on my YouTube channel, and with this video it marks the 200th video that I have done and uploaded to the YouTube channel, which means that as it is the 200th video, I'm gonna celebrate that thing doing 200 laps in Qatar. So the plan is to make a lobby where I would do 3 100% race distance races, which equals to 3 races of 57 laps, and then another one which is at 50% race distance, which equals to 29 laps. So 57 times 3 plus 29 equals to 100. So with that said, let's begin the journey of 200 laps around Qatar. Although it might sound a little bit of a flop, but I tried a little bit of my best so I could complete this 200 lap mega race. So let's get started. So we began with me making the lobby for the mega race. I first invited my THR teammates so they could join them, but instead they reacted that I was crazy and nobody joined, and I was waiting for the other players to join for like 10-15 minutes until someone joined, but then he left, I think after seeing that it was on 57 laps. But then Paul Predator joined in my lobby, and also someone more, but he left, and instead Paul Predator joined, and he was committed to race against me in a 57 lap race. So I grabbed my setup, and we are about to begin the first part of this mega race of 200 laps. I saw that my previous strategy, the default one, is a soft medium, but I decided to change to soft medium. So I would do a 2-stopper instead of a 3-stopper, and I lowered the fuel a little bit. Not in the under fuel zone. I lowered the fuel only down to 101 kilograms. Because, you know, in Qatar you spend lots of fuel and you don't want to underfill the car because you will run out of gas. I see that Paul Predator is gonna start with hard tires, and hope he doesn't leave the race. And with that, I'm waiting for him to get ready so I can press the ready button. I am seeing if I'll make more changes to the pre-race strategy, and I see that I'll maintain like that, although in reality I'm just seeing if I could change the strategy. But then he pressed ready and I pressed the ready button, and here we are with the 5 red lights for the race to begin, and we are underway for this 200 lap mega race. The first part being a 100% race distance race, and we are into turn 1, leading the race because I started in pole position, and despite him having a decent start just like me, I got the advantage of starting on pole position, and I exited turn 1 leading the race, and it is like that, ending sector 1. And I'm seeing that where I ran wide, and Paul Predator was a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel moment with me, but looks like he is gonna maintain behind me. Looks like he is at the same pace as me, although he's on hard tires, so he's gonna be pretty slow. I ran wide. Fortunately, I did not get the track limit warning, and hope he has the same pace as me, so there could be battle, and not like me running for like 57 laps alone, setting time trial times, well, trying to set time trial times. Hope it isn't like that. And with that, we end lap 1 with only 6 tenths ahead of Paul Predator, so that means that I can give him a fair fight and he might have chances to win the race. But well, hope he maintains in this race. On lap 3, Paul Predator set the fastest lap at the end of lap 2, and unfortunately he spun, and I decided to slow down a little bit because Paul Predator was way behind me, and I thought that he would give up because he saw that the gap got increased by his speed, and thought that he won't catch him and he would see no point of racing anymore and would retire from the race and leave me alone. And now we are on lap 4, and I back a little bit, so Paul Predator could have a chance to give me a fight, and maybe he was gonna do a pretty good fight for me, because beginning lap 8 he's overtaking me in the inside of the main straight heading into turn 1, and he set the fastest lap even though he's on hard tires, and he's overtaken me, and I will try to re-overtake him now that I have seen that he might race a little bit seriously against me. So I will try to re-overtake him and maybe dominate him. I don't know, but not too much, just in case Paul Predator gives up and retires from the race. And meanwhile I am behind him, waiting patiently to get into the final corner that then gets into the main straight, and we overtake him. But maybe it'll be later on. Lots of re-overtakes from ourselves. And on lap 12, well, it's happening like I said early on. We have done some re-overtakes from ourselves, and we head into those fast sweeping corners, and he's 1.1 seconds ahead of me. So I need to pick up the pace, and we head into the penultimate corner, and he has a 3-second time penalty. So that means that I overtook him with the penalties applied, because I am less than 3 seconds behind him. So that means that I can chill on, although he is slowing down a little bit. I don't know, maybe he's having the same sensation as me, that if he goes too fast he might think that I'm gonna give up and retire from the race. The same thing that I am thinking, what will he do if I dominate so much? But no, I'm not gonna give up. Even though he dominates the race, I'm not gonna retire from the race. And we are now on lap 13, almost a quarter away from this first race out of 4 races that I am gonna do to do the mega race. And now the gap between Paul Predator and myself is less than a second, so I can have the chances to re-overtake him, and also because I'm on soft tires. But we are on lap 13, and those soft tires might not get that much of an advantage that I got since the beginning of the stint. So yeah, I'll box in the next few laps. Maybe I'll box in lap 15. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I'll box on lap 15, and well, let's see how will it go during these 2 laps that will mark the end of my stint. I get DRS, but it wasn't much of importance because I did not overtake Paul Predator because he was just too far away from me. And as I said early on lap 15, we're gonna enter the pit lane to box for medium tires. So I changed the strategy, and instead of being a soft medium, it's gonna be a soft medium soft. So it'll be 15 laps on soft tires, other 30 in mediums, and the remaining 12 on the second sets of soft tires. Maybe it will change a little bit depending on how the race goes in terms of ending the second stint and beginning the last stint, aka which lap am I going to stop for the second time. Maybe I'll box in like lap 42 or maybe 43, but well, for now I'm gonna box in lap 45 to another set of soft tires. Now the gap between Paul Predator and myself is up to 23 seconds, and seeing that he's on hard tires, maybe I think that he's gonna do a one stopper, so I decided to chill a little bit and not go so fast and conserve our tires and our fuel, because you know I need to conserve my fuel or else I run out of fuel, because here in Qatar you spend a lot of fuel as well as tires and DRS. The tires aren't much to manage, but I decided to manage a little bit because I don't want to be so fast that when he stops he's still gonna be like so far behind me that he might sit and give up on this race. I have the first track limit warning of the race, so yeah, I gotta be really careful with the track limits. I don't want to get a penalty just like Paul Predator. I set the fastest last two sectors of the race, and that means that maybe on this lap I might have the fastest lap of the race. And well, I'm just sweeping through the corners, not trying that much because I want to not dominate the race. I don't want to dominate it. I set the fastest sector 1, so maybe I might humiliate a little bit on him. We head into the end of sector 2, heading into the fast sweeping corners. The gap got reduced down to 20 seconds, so he has to pick up a little bit the pace, and we head into sector 3, setting the fastest sector 2, and we head into turn 14, and oh, I almost ran wide, and we head into turn 15, and oh my goodness me, I ran wide, but I decided to rejoin the track in a clever way, so I don't get another track limit warning, and we head into lap 18. How is it gonna be? Ending lap 17, a 126.164, setting the fastest lap of the race. So he gotta pick up the pace, Paul Predator. You want to win the race, you gotta pick up the pace, and if you're picking up the pace, well, maybe your hard tires are wearing up so much, and I am having these fresh medium tires, and I almost leave the track and get another track limit warning. So I think Paul Predator will do another no, just only a single pit stop, and I am gonna do a 2-stopper. So I don't know how it is gonna be the gap when we all have done our scheduled pit stops. I don't know, but well, let's find out in the matter of the race. And lap 24, I decreased the gap down to 9.3 seconds, and Paul Predator has still that 3-second time penalty, and he's going into the pits. Something that surprised me, because I thought that he was gonna stay out for like 10 more laps and he was gonna do a hard medium, but instead he's gonna box at the end of this lap, and Nabil has joined this lobby, although maybe because he might see that we are only on lap 25 out of 57, maybe he's gonna leave the session. And yeah, he has left the session because he doesn't want to wait that amount of laps only to get like a race that he might get dominated by us. And he's gonna box for medium tires, so for sure he's gonna do a two-stopper strategy. He's gonna do another pit stop, and yeah, we are seeing that the gap between ourselves and Paul Predator is now up to 15 seconds, and he is behind me. So yeah, he gotta pick up the pace, and that's the thing that he might do right now, because he's on fresher mediums than me. I have like 10 laps old medium tires and he's on fresh mediums. And well, we are seeing the sky getting darker and darker because it is going to be at night. The race began like at the sunset, and now the sunset, and now it is gonna be at night. And meanwhile, we are about to get halfway through the first race. And now the gap between Paul Predator and myself got decreased down to 14.5 seconds. So, well, he might destroy the gap. And also, I cannot be really fast because I only have plus 12 laps of fuel of spare that I have for the race. So I gotta conserve a little bit of fuel because I don't want the fuel range going down to less than 0 laps of spare. So we gotta like lift and coast a little bit so we can have chances to finish the race. I forgot to mention to you that Paul Predator has gotten under 3-second time penalty by track limit warnings, and beginning lap 27 he set the fastest lap of the race. He's going pretty fast with those fresh mediums for him, and meanwhile I am managing the fuel and also having much of tire wear. So yeah, I'm in danger of getting overtaken by him, and he's getting so fast that on lap 38 Paul Predator has destroyed the gap between myself and him, and he's overtaken me beginning lap 39, and we're down to P2. He has done a pretty easy overtake, and I got this snap of oversteer. Oh boy, I'm having less grip than him, and he is demonically fast. Although I'm still leading with the penalties applied because he has 6 seconds of penalties accumulated, so I don't need to worry that much. We head into turn 6 and we are a little bit managing of fuel. It is maintained at plus 0.12 laps of spare fuel that we have. So yeah, we are managing our fuel a little bit decently, and we head into these corners, and I cut the corner and got the second warning of the race. If I get the third one by track limits, I get the 3-second time penalty, so I gotta be a little bit careful so I don't lose the lead and lose the race because of it. So yeah, better be sure than risking it for all and going wide and having another track limit warning and getting a 3-second time penalty. I don't want to end like Paul Predator, having lots of penalties because of track limits. We begin lap 40 and Paul Predator set another fastest lap of the race with a 125 flat. Well, hope he doesn't get pretty much fast so I don't lose the race. On lap 43, where I was a little bit worried and pick up the pace in order to not lose the lead with the penalties applied, Paul Predator pits, and I think he's gonna pit for soft tires. And look at the tire wear I'm having, 64% on the tire where I have the highest tire wear, and we look that our front tires are the ones who have the most tire wear, and meanwhile the rear ones are like 51% tire wear, and Paul Predator is boxing for soft tires, which is something a little bit predictable because it's on lap 44 and we are 13 laps to go, and I have done a stint with soft tires for 15 laps. So yeah, I was in consideration of boxing on lap 42 and maybe in lap 43, but I decided to stay out and see in which lap Paul Perter is gonna box, and he boxed at the end of lap 43. We see that the gap is now 20 seconds, that I am on that amount of seconds ahead of him, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll be extremely ahead of me when I box for another set of soft tires. But remember that he has a 3 seconds to add to his final time because of track limits and got penalized, and at the end of this lap we are gonna box, and we are gonna box for another set of soft tires. We brake, and we fortunately do not speed in the pit lane, so we didn't get the penalty. We are on the soft tires, so I get a little bit of an overcut to him, and Paul Predator is getting closer and closer to me, and we see that beginning lap 45 he'll be ahead of me right before lap 44 ended, and we are gonna see the gap that I'm gonna be behind Paul Predator. We head into turn 1, and the gap has gotten to 5.3 seconds that I am behind him, but he has the penalty, so that means that I am still leading the race with the penalties applied, and on this time I'm gonna be pretty fast, more with those soft tires. But remember that I need to manage the fuel, or else I'll run out of fuel and not finish the race. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't get the fastest lap, and we saw that the conclusion is that Paul Predator in fact is faster than me, and gap got increased over the laps, but fortunately he's gotten another 3 second time penalty, and by the final lap of the race he still got the fastest lap of the race. But the gap between himself and myself is only 8.2 seconds, and he has 9 seconds of penalties accumulated. So even though he crosses the line in first place, unfortunately for him, he's gonna be demoted down to second and last place because of the penalties he has accumulated during the race. And we are gonna win this race with barely fuel to finish the race. In fact, I ran out of fuel right when I crossed the line, but we have won the race. The first part of this 200 lap mega race. Hope this looks like that in the rest of the mega race. And oh boy, what a race we have done to be only a 1v1 of 57 laps. I got pretty lucky that I got a driver 2 challenge that has the same pace as me, or maybe only faster than me by a little bit. So yeah, I got a little bit lucky with that. So now, with that said, let's head into the second part of the mega race, race number 2. After the first race, I decided to go like out of my living room, and I went back 2 minutes later, and I got a little bit surprised that we were 9 drivers to participate the second part of the mega race. So yeah, with that, let's begin the second race and hope everyone finishes the race, or at least just don't voluntarily retire from the race because they got bored or they gave up because they saw that they won't win the race. Hope that doesn't happen, although I am seeing that it might probably happen. Hope at least one finishes the race. And we see that Paul Predator is staying with us. We see that two of our THR teammates has joined in this part of the race, and the others are just people who are just browsing in the up-pen multiplayer. We are about to get ready for the race. Someone has already pressed the ready button, and we have 16 seconds to get ready. We set the fuel up to 102 kilograms because I don't want to manage the fuel once again. We are setting the strategy to the one we have done in the previous part of the race, and we are about to begin the race, but unfortunately I forgot to grab the setup. So yeah, it is gonna be a little bit of a nightmare for me. The 5 red flags have turned on, and we are underway for the second race of this mega race. And Paul Predator has overtaken me, has gone a bird start than me, and we head into turn 1 around the outside on Faster, who already overtook me, and we're down to P3. And oh my goodness me, I almost spun because I made contact with Faster. Oh my goodness me, boy, I got spun by another THR, and man, we are down to dead last, although I overtook the THR that made contact with me and made me spin. Oh man, that is gonna be a nightmare for me to run all of these 57 laps with this default setup. Oh boy, that is gonna be a nightmare for me. I don't want to race with this setup. Man, that is gonna be a nightmare. And the THR that I made contact with him and made me spin retired from the race. He gave up, and that's the thing. I did not want that any player did that. And we saw that a driver who was on medium tires had already gotten a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, that is gonna be a disappointing thing for him, although he might hope for another driver to get the penalty. And Faster has retired from the race, so ending lap 1, I am the only THR who is in the race. We are 7 runners, and Alan is in dead last. I am up into 6th position, and I'm doing this little comeback. Faster is the one who got the penalty, although we are seeing that he's gotten a 5-second time penalty instead of a 3-second one. So yeah, I got a little bit wrong with that thing, but it doesn't matter that much because he's out of the race. So let's move on in this race and hope we overtake more drivers. I don't think I can win the race unless all of the drivers retire from the race. But if Paul Predator is still in this race all the way to the end of the race, I want to win the race because I am on this default setup, which is lower than the setup that I ran in the previous race. So I'm gonna be living in this nightmare. Hope that I don't suffer that much. Beginning lap 4, I'm up into P5 because more drivers retired and someone boxed, and the filthy Toad is the one who is in front of me, and Thunder is out of the race. He retired from it, but instead of retiring from the race like our drivers do, oh my goodness me, he damaged my front wing. The filthy Toad has damaged my front wing. I did not expect to break that late. I thought that he was only a slow driver, but we are seeing that the filthy Toad might be a dirty driver as well. So yeah, that is pretty bad on him, and oh boy, that ruined way more my race because I have a front wing damaged, and that means that I'll box to replace my front wing. Oh boy, that is pretty bad. Oh yeah, getting back to the topic that Thunder is out of the race, it is that instead of retiring like our drivers do, like pressing the button of retire the session and letting the AI park in a safe space, he instead decided to run into the wall and damaged his front wing, although despite having the settings down to reduced, the damage settings down to reduced, so drivers could only have front wing damage. I think he's gotten a way where he's gotten so much damage that it was considered as a thermal damage. We got our front wing replaced, and we are on mediums. We are about to begin lap 5, dead last. So yeah, we saw that the Filthy Toad is a dirty driver and he has a 3-second time penalty, and oh man, that's a little bit miserable for me. And Alan is getting like a little bit of a struggle with the circuit, and I might overtake him pretty soon and get up into P4. Oh boy. So yeah, how to retire in this race, even though you can only have front wing damage, it is when you crash so heavy that your nose kinda damages so much that you retire from the race. And yeah, I overtook Alan, and we are up into P4 and hope I can overtake Joao and Filthy Toad and get up into P2. But unfortunately P2 might be the position we're gonna finish if Paul Predator maintains in this race. So we are heading into those corners, and yeah, you can damage your front wing so much that you can retire from the race. It is when you crash into the wall head on pretty badly, and the game consider it as a terminal damage, maybe because you secretly damaged the nose, the car nose, and maybe you could have damaged the master cylinder or these things that are between the pedal and the cone. So yeah, that is how Thunder might have retired from the race, because at the top of the screen it appeared the message of Thunder is out of the session, instead of only appearing the message at the bottom of the screen that Thunder has retired from the session. So yeah, and that is an explanation on how Thunder has retired from the race. And yeah, we are reducing the gap between the Filthy Toad and myself down to 25 seconds now. And oh, Alan is out of the race. He retired from it because he's realized that he cannot compete anymore with other drivers. And Joe is also out of the race. He's retired as well. So that means that we are only 3 runners: the Filthy Toad, Paul Predator, and myself. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit scared that all of these drivers that have started the race will retire from the race. And oh boy, that is gonna be a little bit of a shameful situation for me, but if they retire, I am gonna still run throughout the rest of the race. We see that Paul Predator is 50 seconds ahead of me and has the fastest lap of the race, and we are seeing that the Filthy Toad is now 22 seconds ahead of me. So well, hope I can overtake the Filthy Toad. And oh yeah, one note it is that the Filthy Toad has gotten another 3-second time penalty, also by track limit warnings. Oh nah, we are lap 7 and the Paul Predator retired from the race. I think he realized that he'll get an easy win, and he doesn't want that, an easy win. So he decided to retire from the race because he saw that it's no longer worth it to run. And yeah, I think he got bored of dominating the race, and yeah, we are only the Filthy Toad and myself. Oh boy, that's a situation I don't want to be, but unfortunately it's happened. And I don't know how many laps will the filthy toad be before the inevitable happens. That he will retire from the race. I know that he will retire from the race because I am getting faster and faster, and the gap is getting lower and lower, and I'll overtake him. But he's a third driver, so he might still be in the race and try to knock me out of the race. I don't know, but well, let's see how the race will go. Lap 11, and now I have got the filthy toad, and I'm trying to overtake him in the straight, beginning lap 12, and I'm getting the slipstream, and he's way. Oh my goodness me! What the hell? Oh man, I should have expected that, but man, oh boy, I thought that. Oh boy. Oh man, he's a dirty driver, and I should have expected that. He's a dirty driver, so he will try everything possible, legal or illegal, to defend his lead. The virtual safety car has been deployed, which was kind of a surprise for me, and I got the front wing destroyed. He went through the right, and I was also on the right, but he made contact with me, damaged my front wing, and I spun into the wall and crashed and destroyed my front wing. Oh man, I did not expect that thing, but I should have expected that because he's a dirty driver. But man, I have the front wing destroyed, and now he has 14 seconds of penalties accumulated. Maybe he'll receive so many penalties that he might get disqualified from the race. And I'm realizing that, well, the thing we can guarantee from this race is that the filthy toad won't finish the race. One way or another, he won't finish the race. We are once again replacing our front wing, and we are setting to another set of medium tires. And the reason why he won't finish the race, it is because right there he retires from the race because he gets bored, or maybe he gets so many penalties that he gets disqualified from the race. Oh boy, we are now on lap 13, and I don't know how many laps will he hang on before he retires from the race or he gets disqualified from it. I think it's gonna be pretty soon, but hope it isn't right now or on the next lap. At the end of lap 13, the filthy toad boxed, which was kind of a surprise for me, and now he's behind me. So I don't know if he's gonna retire because he cannot catch me. Beginning lap 16, he has 15 seconds of penalties accumulated, and I don't know if he's gonna retire from the race because he's... oh, yeah, he has retired from the race, and the safety car has been deployed. So, yeah. The inevitable happened. I am the only one who is in this race. Oh, man, which was the thing I did not want to happen. But unfortunately, it happened, and now I am alone. When he was behind me, I thought that the filthy toad was gonna be so slow that he was gonna lap me and then crash me while he being lapped. But the thing that I am thinking right now is that in reality it won't be worth it anymore, because when you get lapped, you get ghosted, because yeah, it is a game, and when you're lapped or you're about to get lapped, you get ghosted because you are a mobile chicane for the driver who is lapping you. So yeah, I think the filthy toad was about to think that, but he realized it was gonna happen, that thing, so he retired from the race. So yeah, I was staying out, but I was thinking on change of plans, and then later on it got confirmed that I changed the plans. The change of plans is that I am gonna run only 29 laps here instead of 57 laps, and then retire from the race, and then on the next day do two 100% race distance races so we can equal to 200 laps. So yeah, with that said, we are only gonna run 12 more laps, because I don't want to run 57 laps with this default setup, and also because I don't want to run pretty much alone, and also I thought that I had to eat these hours, but well, let's do that thing. We're gonna box for new softs, and we're gonna run 12 laps with those tires. Let's wait until the safety car ends after that, and after that we are gonna run with those soft tires freely. At the end of lap 17 I boxed for soft tires, and on the next lap the safety car ended, and beginning lap 20 I set the fastest lap with a lap time of 125.154, and yeah, I was going pretty much slow because of the default setup that I am running, and yeah, it was a bit of a hell for me, but yeah, at least I'm gonna run for 10 more laps instead of 37 more laps, and I set the fast sector 1, but I don't think I'll get another fastest lap. So yeah, I am running like on time trials, but those soft tires are wearing out and I almost spun. So yeah, I think that'll be the fastest lap that I'll ever do in this part of the mega race that got cut down. But that'll mean that part 3 and 4 will be 100% races. In other words, parts 3 and 4 will be at 57 laps each. So yeah, hope it goes by that changed plans, and yeah, we are gonna run like that until the end of lap 29. I'm referring to running in this circuit. And finally, that nightmarish of running with the default setup has ended at the end of lap 29, and I decided to go straight. The beginning lap 30, I'm not gonna break into turn 1, and instead I'm gonna go into the wall, full send it, and we're gonna do that thing, but unfortunately I lost control at all! Boy, I crashed, but I did not get any single damage, and I decided to retire voluntarily from the race. And with that, we have run in total of 86 laps. And yeah, I unfortunately forgot to mention the number of laps in this part of the mega race. Plus 57 instead of like saying like lap 5 or lap 6. I should have said like lap 62, lap 63. So yeah, beginning the third part of the mega race, I would mention the laps like that. So lap 1 will be lap 87, lap 2 will be lap 88, and so on. And then on the fourth part of the race, lap 1 will be lap 144, and so on. And look at the warnings and penalties the filthy toad has gotten. Oh boy, lots of penalties. that the filthy toad received. And well, I don't know how, but I received 20 points, and I don't know why instead of getting 26 points, but maybe it is because I have retired from the race and won the race with that manner. So yeah, on the next day we're gonna continue with that mega race. Almost around midday, Ricardo Rangel, or better known as Bitorn, the THR team owner, told us that unfortunately we won't race any more races with this team anymore because he didn't have much time to manage the team, and that race of THR against SGC that would be on that day, but at like 8 PM on my time, would be the last dance of THR. So that meant that this mega race that I'll be doing would be the final race that I'll do as a THR driver, because I need to look for another team to join in order to maintain my sim racing career alive. So that was the task that I was gonna be doing for the next few hours, and I was contacting with SRX team owner Sisu after one of my teammates told me that SRX would be a better option for me because I don't use any single assets. But later on we're gonna talk about that. So now let's head into the third race of the 200 lap mega race. And the third race will be another 100% race distance race. And man, it took me 30 minutes that someone would join to this lobby and would commit to race against me, because during that period, like, a player appeared into my lobby, but then before the race got started he left and we went back to the lobby, and I was waiting for long minutes. I was almost canceling this thing, but good thing is that it's not gonna happen because Game Sucks is gonna race against me for the third race of the mega race, and I am setting the balance set of tire location, although I am a little bit undecisive, but I decided to go with the balanced tire allocation. I didn't forget to grab the setup, and I only have a few seconds to get ready for the race. And good thing is that I grabbed my setup and I decided to go with 102 kilograms of fuel because I don't want to manage lots of fuel, and I am changing the strategy, which is gonna be a soft, medium, soft, although I didn't have enough time to change the tires. For the strategy, the 5 red lights have turned on and we are underway for the third race of the 200 lap mega race. After that it'll be another 57 lap race, which adds up to 200 laps, and we are will to will with Game Sucks, and that driver is pretty dirty, so I don't know, maybe I have to be careful with him, and he's going pretty slow in the corners, so I gotta be a little bit careful with that driver because I don't want to crash. And we are heading into turn 7, and we are having the exact same pace as me for now, and I cut the corner and I get the first track limit warning of the third race of the 200 lap mega race. And meanwhile we are seeing lots of weaving for the driver, and that is a little bit dangerous, and we are heading into those corners in a pretty poor manner. And oh boy, I am trying to overtake him, but I cannot overtake him because he's just so dirty that I don't want to commit to overtake him, because he'll crash into me and damage my car. We end lap 1 and he's weaving through the straight. He sets the fastest lap of the race, and well, I don't know if he's gonna crash me, but I think, oh my goodness me, he almost rear ends me. I mean, he almost get rear ended by me, but it is on a manner that is so dirty because he brake checked me. He's brake checking me lots of times, and I don't know if I am gonna try to overtake him. I get the fastest sector 1 and I almost cut the corner once again, and we're wheel to wheel. We were at the time, but not anymore because GameSucks got a better acceleration than me, and oh my goodness me, he almost pushed me off the track, and my goodness me, I almost crashed into him once again. I get brake checked by him very many times, and we get into the fast striking corners of sector 3, and I don't know if I will overtake him, but I don't know. We head into turn 15 on the inside, but not that much to the full potential. He is weaving once again. Oh man, I don't know if I am gonna overtake him. We deploy a bit of our ERS and we head into lap 3. We are getting the slipstream, and he weaves lots of times. I get the fastest lap of the race, and we're wheel to wheel into turn 1, and oh boy, I almost spun in. Oh, we just crashed lots of times in that moment. It was like 3 times that we made contact on that moment, but yeah, it was quite a scary moment. And we go up, man, I cut the corner once again. Oh man, I just cannot with that driver. I can't overtake him because he's just so dirty that I don't know which is gonna be his next move, and I locked my rear brakes and I almost leave the track. And oh boy, it is gonna be pretty hard to overtake him, but I don't know if it is gonna happen, or we need to do a strategic thing in order to get into the race lead. And we are on the 6th gear, heading into turn 15 once again, and I don't know if I can overtake him. We head into the final corner, exiting the corner, and we get the RS from him. We deploy the RS, I deploy a bit of my ERS, and we head into lap 1. Oh my goodness me, he rear-ended me. Oh man, bro, I got the 5-second time penalty. Oh, I got the 5-second time penalty. The FIA was a bit unfair to me at that moment. Oh man. Virtual safety car got deployed, although it won't be much of my help because I box to replace my front wing, which means it'll cost me like 30 seconds because I will replace front wing, and also I'll serve the penalty, which means that I'll lose 35 seconds. Spiritual safety car ends. Oh boy, I should have moved to the right a little bit earlier and not maintain with the slipstream for too much time. Should have done that thing instead of maintaining with the slipstream. He's a dirty driver. He could have brake checked me, and he's cut the corner once again. Oh my goodness me! I also cut the corner once again, and we both get 3-second time penalties because of penalties. I mean, because of track limit warnings, and in a very slow manner, we are going into the pits. Oh man, that is a little bit miserable. Going into the pits, replacing my front wing, and I don't know if... Oh boy. Once again, another penalty because I sped in the pit lane. This is gonna be an eternity. And how much it is gonna be? It is a 12.4 seconds. Oh, that is lots of time. And we are on mediums. And I don't know what happened to Game Sucks. I don't know, maybe he'll get bored and retire from the race and leave me alone, and I'm gonna drive alone for the next 50 laps. I don't know, but well, let's see in the next few laps. But for now, let's go fast with medium tires. And then on lap 7, while I was running and doing fastest laps of the race, I was heading into the final corner, and Game Sucks got bored and he decided to retire from the race. Lap 8, I set the fastest lap with a 1:27.1, but yeah, with that will begin a long journey of making lots of laps alone. So yeah, for the rest of the third race of the 200 lap mega race will be like that, only setting lap times only to end the race, and that is it. Yeah, that is it. That's over, and yeah, I'll be doing like 2 more pit stops, and that's it. Yeah, I'll run like 50 laps alone, and that's it. That's the whole race, and yeah, that is the emptiest 100% race distance race that I'll run. And that now that I am editing, I have done in my entirety of the time that I have played F1 games. And no, I haven't spun any times, or at least I don't remember spinning on the third race, and I think I only got 2 more warnings. And yeah, because nothing happened for that period of the race, we skipped to the final lap of the race, going into the corners pretty fast because I'm on soft tires, and on those soft tires on that stint, it was only a 5 lap stint. So yeah, I did a 3 stopper because I boxed for another mediums in like lap 30, I think so, and then on lap 42 I boxed to the soft tires that I'm using right now. What you are seeing, I mean. And yeah, we head into the third sector, almost running out of ARS. We set the fastest sector too, and yeah, we are about to complete the least eventful race that I have done in my entirety of the races that I have done in F1 23 multiplayer mode. And we're going to cross the line with a lap time of 1:22.9, and we're going to, of course, win the race because I am the only one who finished the race. So yeah, not an interesting way to win the race, but yeah, win is a win. But yeah, still it was on a way that it was just extremely easy to win because I was the only one who was still in the race. The only thing I needed to do is to get into the end of the race, and yeah, we win the race. We get 26 points, although these points don't matter, and we have done these 57 laps in 1 hour and 24 minutes. So yeah, that is it all for the third race. Now let's head into the fourth race, and maybe the final race to finish the 200 lap mega race. But unfortunately, getting players to make the fourth race happen, it was a hard way. Oh boy, it took me an hour and a half to find players so we could get the fourth race released. And man, I invited my THR teammates, and then I realized that the lobby that I was doing wasn't working, so I made another lobby. And yeah, when I was making another lobby, they were joining it, but it was just too late that I decided to do a change of plans, because I decided to do the fourth race, a 50% race distance race, so it will be 29 laps, and I was risking a thing. And that thing is that I appointed that final dance, although I wasn't a full-time driver for that final dance of THR versus HTC. I noted as a reserve driver, and yeah, hope I can participate in that race. So I decided to risk it, because on that race it is also in Qatar, and because of that, it was the main reason why I decided to do the 200 lap race in Qatar. Because of that, because it also worked me as a practice. So yeah, I hope I can replace the driver, and yeah, that race being the final race of the 210 lap mega race, and thus being the final race that I'll participate for THR. In total, 9 people joined in this race, and I added a one-shot quali because Toscano said that I had to add quali, although he wanted to me add a full a short quali instead of only a one-shot quali, in order to make an actual THR training session. But I didn't have that much time because I had to do our things, our priorities, and so I decided to go for a one-shot quali. Toscano was a bit angry, but he decided to still race. We are sweeping through the corners, seeing that Menor is for now the fastest driver in the longevity of the lap and the duration, but now we are for now the fastest driver in this session. But well, let's see if I'll maintain that thing and get pole position. We head into the penultimate corner without running wide, so this lap is validated. We exit the final corner, we open our DRS, and we are on a long way to finish the lap. We unfortunately didn't get that much ERS, and Menor has been disqualified from the session, as well as MS, and we get pole position with a lap time of 122, I think so. Yeah, I think it was a high 122. No, it was a 122 flat. Well, not that flat because it was a 0.052, but yeah, almost a 122 flat. And with that, we get a dominant pole position like almost 2 seconds ahead of second place. Well, hope I can maintain that lead during the race and convert that pole position into a race win. Well, I was a bit wrong. I didn't get like almost 2 seconds faster than second place. Instead, I was just 1.1 seconds ahead of second place. Hope you have seen the qualifying results. If not, you can go backwards like in a few seconds and pause so you can see the results more carefully. I won't say who qualified third all the way to 9th. Now let's head into the 4th race. Didn't check my pre-race strategy, but I would start on medium tires, and the 5 red lights have turned on, and we are underway for the 4th race of the 200, and now 201 lap mega race, and maybe it'll be turned into 202 now. We head into turn 2, leading the race still, although the McLaren was almost trying to overtake me, and he's trying right now. Heading into turn 4, we are a little bit under the tree wide, and oh boy, oh my god, I got like the bump cars into turn 5. I was making contact with the drivers that were between me, and I unfortunately spun, and we're down to dead last, unfortunately. Oh man, well, hope I can make a great comeback. It is still a long way, it is just lap 1 out of 29, and also it's just a 200 lap mega race, and I'm the only one who participated all of the laps that is going in this mega race. We head into sector 3, trying to overtake the first driver of the compact that I'll make, and that AlphaTauri is going pretty slow into those corners, and he is squeezing me, pushing me wide, and I could not overtake him. I think he's getting a little bit dirty faster, and McLaren was who was battling against me for the race lead earlier this lap are boxing. I think they got front wing damage. Those cannot set the fastest lap, I think so. We are on lap 2, trying to overtake the AlphaTauri, and we overtake him, although he's not giving up, and he tried to re-overtake me, but he failed it, and now we are up in P7, although that AlphaTauri was trying to defend, but not that clean. He was weaving a little bit, but I didn't have much to deal with, and I overtook easily the Mercedes, and we are up in P6. Now the next target is Temp, which is on his new sports team TRX, which is kinda of a THR, I don't know what to say, but yeah, I know what to say. This is like a THR substitute. It was known that Bonnie made the TRX team before THR announced that they would no longer race, but in reality they made that team for the drivers who wanted to stay at THR, kinda. And oh wait, we are seeing that we have front wing damage. Oh man. Next stop, we're gonna replace a front wing. Next stop, because I don't want to race in these kind of conditions. Toscano retires from the race. I think he didn't get that interested to do race in Qatar anymore, and he decided to retire. We're up in P5 because of it. And well, let's see how many drivers will they get into the end of the race, but I don't think there'll be a lot of drivers. Lap 6, we are up into P4 because early on a driver boxed, and that meant that I got up at position, and because that driver that boxed was ahead of me before boxing, and Foster is out of the race, and that deploys the safety car because he crashed and made him return from the race because he got suspension damage. Well, that's what I suppose he got. We are boxing for hard tires. I want to drive with this bit of a broken front wing, and we're boxing right now to box for hard tires, and we're gonna maintain with these tires until the end of the race. But we are seeing that the repair wing damage is at auto, and unfortunately the engineer thinks that the damage is not that massive. So unfortunately, when we were boxing, they didn't replace our front wing. Ah man, I should have put into a Jess instead of an auto, but I think I realized that I needed to put that thing, but unfortunately it was too late. I couldn't change that thing, and so I decided to box in this lap and repair our front wing. Although yeah, that'll mean that we're gonna be on medium tires, but well, hope we get another safety car, and that safety car is on a certain lap, so we can box from mediums to softs, for example like lap 18 or 19, something like that. Hope it happens. And now we exit the pit lane and hope we get a clean getaway after the safety car. On lap 8 the safety car ends, and so we begin lap 9 racing once again, and I have enough straight line speed to overtake Menor around the outside of the turn 1, and we're wheel to wheel with him, and oh, he almost pushes me wide, but fortunately I had enough space, so I can't have a real excuse to say that Menor pushed me wide, and Aston Martin, the Aston Martin of ML, has retired from the race, and that deployed the virtual safety car, and now has converted into a full course safety car. Now it has ruined my strategy of boxing from mediums to softs during a safety car. But well, I don't know if there's gonna be another safety car in like lap 16, 17, 18, 19, between those laps. And yeah, there were lots of safety cars, and I was wondering if I put the safety car settings at increased or something like that, but no, it was at reduced. So yeah, it's a little bit weird to me, but well, let's stay out in this track. Let's not box, and we are seeing that McLaren is boxing as well as the Alpha Tauri, so that means that I'll be leading the race. Although yeah, if the safety car doesn't happen in these laps that I want that the safety car happens, well, that means that I have to box for soft tires without the safety car, but I don't have to worry much about it because the drivers that I'll be racing right now will be a little bit slower than me, except Temp. Menor has retired from the race, and that means that we are now down to 6 runners. Let's see how many drivers will they stand until like the end of the first half of the race at least. I don't know, but I have set the question of how many will they stand until the end of the race, but I think lots of drivers will retire from the race. I don't know, but let's see. Unfortunately, when the safety car ended at the end of lap 11, we were only 4 runners. Temp has retired from the race, and that means that only the 2 McLarens and the Alpha Tauri are still racing against me, but these drivers are way slower than me, so that means that I might have an easy win. And boxing for soft tires without safety car won't be much of a worry for me, because when that pit window opens, I'll be way ahead of them, and when I box, if I'm not ahead of them, I'll be extremely close behind them and overtake them easily. So yeah, I think I have the win pretty easy. At the end of lap 21, I boxed 4 soft tires and I'm going pretty fast. So fast that I head into that corner so close to the inside that I went too much to the inside and cut the corner. And unfortunately, I got a track limit warning, and that track limit warning was the 3rd track limit warning. And because of it, I got a 3-second time penalty. But it isn't much of a concern because the gap between myself and the driver who's in 2nd place is a lot. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Now 11 seconds. And yeah, that is how slow these drivers that I was mentioning are. The AlphaTauri have retired from the race, and we begin lap 23 with only 3 drivers. If they finish the race, they get guaranteed podium. If I finish the race, I'm almost definitely gonna win this race. As long as I don't do an awful mistake, I'll have the win. Pretty much guaranteed. And we head into the final lap of the race, still leading the race, and with the gap from myself and 2nd place much larger, and the driver who is in 2nd place is on dead last because the McLaren who was in 3rd place decided to retire from the race. And with that, I win once again another race, and we are seeing that once again, for the 2nd time, a driver other than me will finish a race of this mega race of 200 laps. And with that, after that, we are gonna see if I'm gonna participate the last dance. So I'll consider that thing as the 5th race of the 200 lap mega race. Hope it goes like that, so I can end that mega race. All of the 10 drivers that were appointed to the last dance got into the qualifying and the race, and so I couldn't participate there. And so that is the end of my career at THR. Then it came the days of the negotiation to join the SRX Esports team, and these days passed. I was planning to do the 5th part of the mega race, although unfortunately I couldn't do that thing because I was pretty busy in those weeks. To make things worse, March 10th was coming, and on that date it was the 2nd anniversary of my channel, and I was forced to make a video about it. And that meant that that video would be the 200th video, and so this video got ruined. I had still the will to do the 5th race of the 200 lap mega race, although yeah, it will be more than 200 laps. And so I decided to change some plans. Because it wouldn't this be the 200th video, I decided to calculate how many laps would I do in total, and I realized that if I do one shot quali and that 50% race distance race for the 5th race of the 200 lap mega race, that will equal to 203, and so I decided to do this video as the 203rd video of my YouTube channel. And so now this race would be doing the same amount of laps as I have the amount of videos that I have on my channel. So I decided to upload like 2 more videos, and now we are on March 26, 2024 for the 5th part of the 200 lap mega race after a full month of pause. And on my lap it was going pretty decent until exiting turn 5 when I ran wide. Gappy retired from the session, and so I decided to finish this lap even though it was invalidated, just to have chances that I could get pole position. And when I finished that lap, I know that I will get the message that I was disqualified, but still I was expecting to get pole position because even though I got the lap invalidated, I completed that lap, but no, Guppy got pole position even though he didn't set time. None of us set time, and he got pole position. I thought that it was gonna be like in the previous F1 games, which even though if you have the lap invalidated and you finish that lap, you will get a higher position than a driver who retired from the session and didn't finish that lap. Well, with that, let's begin this race. And before we begin, I was checking the pre-race strategy. It was gonna be at first a medium soft, and that will be maintained like that until the end of the race. I was checking the setup. I lowered the fuel down to like only man, I didn't check that much, but after we get out of that screen, that tab, we are gonna see it was 52.5 kilograms of fuel, and I wasn't a little that sure if I wouldn't do that race with that starting fuel, but I decided to do with that, and we begin this final race. And we are heading into turn 1 wheel to wheel with Guppy, and we head into turn 1 on the inside, but unfortunately we ran wide and he's done a switch back and oh no, that is gonna be a little bit of a nightmare for me once again, because this lag of the drivers teleporting is still there, and man, this is not gonna be pretty fun with me. And well, hope I don't struggle that much, and hope I can overtake Guppy and get back into the lead. I thought that for the next laps it would be a pure battle for the race lead, because I thought that Guppy was going to be at the same pace as me, but into lap 8, even though I had spun, and that meant that the gap is going pretty much larger, still Guppy was going to dominate the race. He was going faster than me, and before I spun, it was like the gap was 4 seconds. And even though I didn't have done that mistake before the spin, the gap was increasing, and even though he got the 3-second time penalty, the gap was still so much that it wasn't affecting that much his penalty. And with the penalties applied, he was still leading the race, and now because I spun, gap got way much larger, and the chances of winning the race would be pretty much low. But Guppy decided to back off a little bit because he's getting a little bit scary that he would think that he would dominate that much that I would retire from the race. And so he decided to back up a little bit and give me the race lead. And now he is half a second behind me. I ran wide into turn 1, and now he is trying to overtake me and do a fair battle for the race lead, although he might overtake me pretty easily in the main straight and pull off a great gap. And maybe that cycle will repeat once again, I don't know, but let's see how it goes. And yeah, in the main straight ending the lap, he overtook me pretty easily, and I was in a tight wheel-to-wheel fight with him into turn 1. He overtook me around the outside, and now I'm back to last place, although I'm still leading the race because he has the penalty and he is less than 3 seconds behind me. And so at first I am trying to maintain the gap with him, and so I can have the DRS and maintain this gap, although I think that he'll he'll pull way ahead of me because he's faster than me, and he'll quite possibly do that thing, and then he'll be more than 3 seconds ahead of me, and he'll know this penalty that he's having. And for a few seconds I overtook him, but then later on he overtook me once again, and now he's pulling a big gap, although not that big as I imagined. He's only just 2.3 seconds ahead of me, and also he's got another 3-second time penalty, so now has 6 seconds of penalties accumulated. Easy Scar joined this lobby, but unfortunately for him, he joined too late. We are already on lap 15. He would join like 20 minutes earlier or 25 minutes. Yeah, he could be in this race, but no, he couldn't. Although I doubt he would maintain until this amount of laps. We are lap 16, and we are seeing that the tire is having, in a terrible manner, in a pretty ugly manner. I thought that these tires would get until like 50% heading to lap 16. No, it was at 73%, and I was in a decision to box for hard tires in like lap 15 because I was seeing the tire was pretty ugly, but still I wanted to maintain with the strategy of medium to soft. Although yeah, cut the corner, and I got the 3-second time penalty because that track limit warning that I received seconds earlier, it was the 3rd warning. If you get the 3rd warning, you get the 3-second time penalty. And now that unfortunately means that Guppy is leading the race. Although he has 6 seconds of penalties accumulated, I have 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. And so that means that 3.4 minus 3 is equal 0.4, so he is, with the penalties applied, 0.6 seconds now ahead of me. And yeah, the engineer is recommending me to box for hard tires, although I decided to maintain stubborn and maintain with those tires until at least like lap 18, until I was thinking that these tires would maintain in a pretty much in a shape before being punctured. Because yeah, we are at 76%, and that means that we are on the puncture territory, and I'm having the risk of having a puncture. And well, hope I don't get a puncture in the next lap and a half. And a lap and a half later, I boxed. I didn't get the puncture, fortunately, although the tires were now at 84%. And now we're boxing for soft tires. Hope they don't get to like 70-80% of tire wear. We are going to be on these soft tires until the end of the race. We are beginning lap 19, and so that means that we are having an 11 lap stint on these soft tires. Hope the tire wear isn't more than 10% per lap, and so that means that I need to manage a little bit my tires. Although yeah, that will mean that I'll be way slower than Guppy, although I don't know if he's going too fast that he's forgetting about tire wear, or maybe he's better at tire management than me. I don't know. I think he's a better driver than me, and I gotta learn from these mistakes in order to not make these mistakes in the future races. I'm now realizing that these tires might wear that much. Guppy is boxing, about to begin lap 20 for him. I set the fastest sector 2, and for now he's holding the fastest lap, and also he's gonna box for soft tires, and I am closing the gap with him, and he's exiting the pit lane. I am beginning lap 20, and also we are on the main straight. We set No, that doesn't matter that much because this is my out lap. I said the fastest sector 3. We had in the turn 1 2.7 seconds behind Guppy, and so that means that we are leading the race. And now the gap is 2.4 seconds. That won't last that long because Guppy is heating up his tires, and when he heats up his tires, he'll be pretty fast, and so that'll mean that the gap will be pretty much major than the one that I am having right now. We are having the fastest sector 1 and we are aiming to get the fastest lap, although yeah, that means that that'll last for like a lap or 2 because Guppy will set a faster lap time. That is predictable. At the end of lap 20 I set the fastest lap, and as I was predicting, Guppy sets a faster lap time than me. I set a 123.8 and I think he set a mid 123, although not exactly sure which tenth he was at the 123, but it was a mid 123, and now the gap is 3.5 seconds ahead of me without the penalties applied, but I am still leading the race because he's gotten another 3-second time penalty. And so that means that he has 9 seconds of penalties accumulated and I have 3, and so 9 minus 3 is equal 6, and 3.9 minus 6 is equal to minus 2.2. So that means that with the penalties applied, I am 2.2 seconds ahead of Guppy. I don't know how much will that last, and I'm in the lead because he is faster than me, and I am managing a little bit the tires, and I am seeing that the tires were like between 6 and 7% per lap, and so I am seeing that I don't have to worry much about getting a puncture at the end of the race. And if I maintain like that at the end of the race, the soft tire that will have the most tire wear will get at like 75%, and so I won't get a puncture, as I am sure about. And well, hope I can maintain the gap, at least barely win, but it is getting less likely because now the gap without the penalties is 4.5 seconds ahead of me, and that might increase to 6 at the end of the race. And on lap 25, which in the mega race is lap 199, I lost the lead. I ran a little bit too wide and I did not want to get the track limit warning once again, but that meant that now the gap got increased to more than 6 seconds and I lost the lead, and I don't think that I'll get the lead back because Guppy is faster than me, and unless he spins, that'll be impossible for me to win this final part of the 203 lap mega race. And we are about to enter lap 200 of this mega race, being in second place. That's a little bit unfortunate for me, but well, let's complete the last 4 laps of the mega race and hope we can finish winning the race. But unfortunately, that thing of winning the race, it is not happening, and we are about to begin the 203rd and final lap of the race with more than 60% of tire wear. Heading into turn 1, I am having a little bit not that great, and look at the fuel that I am having. We are barely about to have the fuel to finish the race. It's plus 0.03 laps, and although starting the race it was like almost 1 lap of fuel of spare, and yeah, that is how much fuel you can spend in Qatar. A lot of fuel. and we head into sector 2 in the middle of it, and we are seeing how Capi is dominating us without the penalties applied, but with the penalties applied it isn't that dominant, although yeah, he's leading the race. We're heading to sector 3, heading to those fast sweeping corners, and now the fuel is at minus 0.01 laps. Now we don't have any fuel of spare. We head into the final corner to head in the main straight for one last time, and we finish this 200 lap mega race. Although we didn't win this 5th race, but we are the only driver to complete this all of the 203 laps of the 200 lap mega race. Although yeah, as I said earlier in this video, in first few seconds of the video, it was a bit of a flop. Yeah, but well, at least I have done the thing I wanted to do in order to celebrate the 200 videos of YouTube. Although yeah, it was pretty much late, but yeah, I wanted to complete 200 laps. And with that, this ends the 203rd video of my YouTube channel, which is doing 203 laps in Qatar. That's it, guys. Hope you didn't get that bored about it, and see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.